this bill has been a while in the making, mostly from parents that have expressed some concern about what's going on in schools. Discussions actually started before COVID, but when we went into the virtual and the remote learning, parents got an insight into the classroom and what was happening more than they had had before. And it kind of opened their eyes as to what some of the situations were, and piqued their interest and just said, we need to know more. And so the result of these conversations is this bill.
We wish that having raised 3 kids, all going through the public school system, that first and foremost, the relationship with the student, the family, the teacher is fundamental. That's where it all begins. And we're jumping to the legislative, what may or may not be a fix, but I always advocate that first and foremost, that the parents, guardian, grandparents, whoever's responsible for that son or daughter or grandchild, they need to build that relationship with their immediate teacher. They need to be involved with what goes on at school. They need to be involved with the administration. It's hard work, but it's very important work that those things should never change. Being engaged with what goes on at the school board, being engaged with school board elections. So we're the furthest part away from trying to create those relationships, but that's where it first needs to begin. The legislation just wants to reaffirm, stress, mandate that parents definitely, first and foremost, need to know what's going on. It should be embraced. It should be encouraged. And anything that is done without engaging the guardian of that child is just it's irresponsible, and it's unfortunate.
What words do you have for your colleagues on the other side of the aisle who may not support the legislation?
Again, when we look at our schools, and not just in Delaware but nationwide, there's a direct correlation between parental involvement, the number of parents, how strongly reading is encouraged at the homes. We want to do everything we possibly can to build a relationship between the student, their family, and the school. That's first and foremost, that again, the parents, guardian, grandparents that are raising, responsible for those children, need to be committed to make sure that son or daughter, grandchild is ready to learn that day, has the opportunity to go to school with hopefully the right number of meals in them going in. It may sound rudimentary or fundamental, but that's where it's a huge gap that they need to be engaged. So they should encourage, all colleagues should encourage as much parental involvement with our schools, because it'll only make them stronger. We hear concerns, and it's been since the dawn of time, the lack of involvement with PTA or other parent organizations. But fundamentally, we need to do everything we possibly can to encourage that, understanding what the agenda is, the syllabus is for their son or daughter, regardless of their age, being a part of parent-teacher conferences, things that some folks just take for granted, but we need to make sure everybody doesn't take them for granted, but actually does them.